Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of May the Internet Be With You, Jedi Community History. So computer's acting a little slow here, but also I'm acting slow here. I'm not at the top of my game. It's been one thing after the other this week in regards to health issues. So it's been fun battling out viruses and things of that nature. And currently, I am dealing with something. I'm dealing with some pain. So, Jedi fortitude, yo. Okay, so we're gonna do this thing now. The Jedi Temple. The Jedi Temple was created by John Olerin, as well as his twin brother. It goes by Ogrin or Ogrin. It's I'm really not good on the whole weird Jedi names. Anyways, so they created the Jedi Temple around, depending on how you want to classify it, like around 1998. It didn't really get kind of any traction going until about 1999. And a lot of the members actually in the beginning were associated with Jedi at the New Millennium, like kind of jump between the sites a bit. And even shared lessons. John Olerin shared a lot of the lessons and allowed those to be used over at Jedi at the New Millennium. So it was around about late 1999 that I found my way there. That was after I had left the Force Academy and decided I wanted to really venture out and kind of experience, get more involved with the growing community. At this time too, easy boards were starting to take off. And that was, of course, if you've tuned into any of these, due to Jedi Academy. Anyhow, so they had a first easy board that ended up going the way of the Jedi, and by early 2000, they had a website going by the Jedi website creator at the time, Serene. You might remember his name coming up as he's the one who did Temple of the Jedi Arts. He did, of course, Jedi Creed and Jedi Council, as well as helped out with Jedi Organization and Jedi at Large, or Capital Jedi. So he's done a lot more than that, but I'm not going to list his entire resume. That'd take up all the time. So I'm a hurting unit. So we're gonna stop this stuff, and we're gonna explore the site. Now, now the link should be in the comment or in the description below, or wherever, like maybe you saw this advertised, or on the events page and in the details. There are links available to you, and we will get this monkey rolling. If I can work it out. I'm really hurting on this one. Okay, here we go. So we are at Temple of the Jedi, and I need to be on the right page to start doing anything about it. Okay, so this is the entrance page. Pretty fancy. It's got the Serene hallmarks. Pretty classic, pretty nice, very bright. And here's you could jump to things real quick, but we'll just jump to the first page here. And now the formatting here is a bit off. This, because 1999 and 2000 websites were done a bit differently. Screens were done a bit differently. You had different of technology. All right, so the formatting is a bit off, but as I note here, I kind of mixed the 2001 and 2004 versions to kind of create the best stable version for us to explore and things of that nature. When I joined, Blue Group was just being formed, and Blue Group was a oh, does it actually have a link? Hey, it has a link. Awesome. Didn't even know that. Oh, my name's not on there. Fun times. Okay, so so I joined Blue Group. It's pretty good. Oh man, this must have been around 2004. Yeah, it's 2004 class. Because Mark, there was another great Jedi, Mark Iron Dragon, not there. Destiny Frost, though, was there from the beginning. And she really stuck with Blue Group all the way through to the end. Now, see, and here's the history for you. I didn't even have to get into it. Blue Group was originally founded and mentored by John Ollering. Our current mentor is one of his former students, Chris Tingen. And Chris was or is a teacher in real life. I think she was a college professor. I think English too. I don't hold me on that. As we were talking about the people who founded it, here's John. It was John and his twin brother Ogon that founded the temple, and of course Stefan and Serene helped bring it into fruition. And there you go. So that's where I started in 1999. It was good times. And I think we can actually look how thorough was I in cleaning it up. Nope, didn't get there. Okay. I was going to say we could look at the syllabus, but no, apparently not. I did not get that far. But what we can do is check out the kind of, let's go to their home and let's check out the kind of mission statements that we had back in 1999. Now, Temple of the Jedi, as it was also known, just one of those naming things. Never could. It was Temple of the Jedi, and then eventually, and then there was Temple of the Jedi Arts came about, and so that was kind of confusing. So eventually, we just started calling ourselves Jedi Temple, and that ended up coming with a whole new easy board. Jeez, I am really not with it today. Okay, so it came with a whole new easy board, and that's the one. And that one is actually still available to this day. Let's see if we could just open that in a new tab. I don't even know if that will go to it then. Am I sharing that? Let's look at that. Hey, I am. Awesome. Okay, so, and you can actually go here. You can go here right now. You don't need a Yuku account. I have one transferred over from EasyBoard, but you can look at it, and you can like jump through the lecture hall, and you can go back. Oh, fun! I forgot to unplug the phone. And you can go back to 2000 when this one when the new board was created. So the old board was left behind. Each training group had its own easy board, so those are not included for most of them. But yeah, you could go here, you could check out all the lectures that are available, you could see the old discussions that were available. Not everything's available to you, even if you create a Yuku account. It's just not going to be available to you. But you can check it out. You can get involved, have fun, ask a question. Maybe someone from the old days will pop up. Who knows? You never know who's lurking at one of the old boards. Okay, so our mission. This is what the Jedi Temple exists for. It was formed by a few such smaller sites. We see ourselves as a step towards greater unity among Jedi. This is important because this will come up later. Probably not too much later because I'm already, I'm already messing this up. Okay, so this Temple of the Jedi Order is not, I don't know, yeah, I didn't think so. It's not the Temple of the Jedi Order that you may know. It's not the popular active one now, okay? It was actually, has to do with this. So, again, we will get there. So they had a council. This was, council. Teachers had autonomy. Basically, if you're part of Blue Group, it was up to Christian Jin to tell you when you passed. If you were at Phoenix Group or Red Group, it was left to those masters to say when you were knighted, when you passed. Now, this one has a lot of the stuff that, well, not a lot of stuff, but some of the stuff that you've seen at other places. And like you've seen a Jedi's focus at Jedi of the New Millennium. Again, going back that like these sites were connected while they were kind of growing, going through their growing pains. So you can check out their lessons. This is philosophy stuff, This is your basic stuff. What is a Jedi's role today? Yeah. So I mean, check it out. Have fun with it. The Force, you can check it out. You got meditations like centering meditation. Get yourself a meditation. Enjoy it. You can explore the dark side in a way. Jedi Morkin, good guy, love that guy. I value what he says, so this might actually be worth a read if you're interested in that. Martial arts. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe when we cover Real Jedi Knights, we'll cover kind of martial arts section and stuff like that. Opie's Closet. What did I have back there? Followers of the Force. Ooh, do I actually have that? Hey, look. Wait, is that showing? That is showing. Excellent. Okay, this is a tangent, but this is my first website I ever created. It's an easy board. And it was created in the summer of, was it 2000? No, I think actually I created it at the end of 1999, just before I found Jedi Temple. But there's nothing, no way to kind of prove that. This is just a picture because EasyBoard is gone. There's no way to get EasyBoard stuff back. Einar's office. You can check out, like, these were counselors at one time. I think there's a council page where there's a council page. Yeah. And these tend to, oh no, those are just email addresses. Do not use. I don't know about anybody else's, but don't use my email address. That's one from way back. Obviously, 2001. So yeah. So here's the thing: governed by 12 revered Jedi Masters. I was not a Jedi Master at the time, just to be clear. I was still in Blue Group. I hadn't graduated yet. The thing about Temple of the Jedi is while other places like Jedi of the New Millennium used role playing to kind of bring you into it, Jedi Temple really had a role playing forum. Like not forum all around. Like you can go look at it. It didn't have that, but they did have specific areas for that, and they had a run-on story, and they involved all the members and stuff, and they did use that. They used fictional storytelling, that kind of medium, to kind of talk about actual issues and kind of like ethics and things of that nature. So yeah, so it was a good. It was good. The problem came. I wish I had the picture. I'm gonna have to. I don't think I can. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find that or correct that. But so here's what happened. Let's just get into it. Here's what happened. So it was a great site. You can still check it out. Go to discussion forums. You see it. And there's plenty there for you. There's plenty here for you. You can dig into it. You can jump on the meditations. It's good stuff. A lot of these links, there was links here, but they were taken out because the pages are lost. They're gone. So they're taken out. But you can check this out. You can enjoy it. You can get a sense of how they ran things. Stories in the Jedi. See, here's what I was talking about. Stories in the Jedi Temple library allow for this form of entertainment, yet this is not the main goal. Serious mind, blah blah blah. So what happened was, we'll get back. We'll just jump into this. We see ourselves as a step towards greater Jedi, unity. And at the time, Jedi United version 2. Oh, I don't have version 2 up. Wait, do I? No, that's Jedi the New Millennium version 2. I should have brought it up. Yeah. Oh well. So Jedi United version 2 had put together what was called the JEE. That was an acronym, and it meant for Jedi Equivalency Exam. And that's one of the links that went right here. Okay, and so at the time, it was considered a pretty good online standard for test for what the name says, for evaluation, right? It was considered. It wasn't foolproof. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't when it was originally created. It was not meant to be a standard. It was just meant to be a loose evaluation. But the people in charge at the time decided to run with it. They felt they had something good and they wanted to run with it. Like so many projects, even today, people just run, right? Like they get a hold of an idea, and instead of taking their time and starting small and simple and just slowly letting it slowly build year after year, they want to just erect this huge Jedi Temple monument within a year. They don't want to. They build all this stuff. They make it more complex than they have to. Oh, we're building for the future. Never mind, you're not even building for now. So what happens when you don't build a foundation on a building? Yeah, nothing good. What happens when you build on sand? Nothing good. So anyways, rant on that over, because that's a whole other 30 minutes. So evaluation standard. Jedi United liked it. Here was the problem. I didn't. I was creator of the Jedi United version 2, and our goal was unity through community. That was our motto. Our motto was not to bring everybody together under one site. So I forcefully took charge as site admin to re-steer the ship. Probably not the best move. Learn from it. Certainly not something I would do today, but that's what happened. So as I was in the process of that, Jedi United, who were already in talks with the Jedi Temple on creating Temple of the Jedi Order, which was going to be a merger of the two sites, and they were going to take the evaluation, the Jedi equivalency exam, and the counselors and kind of like the things they had established at Jedi United, and then they were going to mix it with the training and standards of the Jedi Temple, more specifically Blue Group, because Blue Group's training standard at the time was unparalleled. They had the best academy, though it never got finished. As in the academy itself never got finished, so no one ever finished it. But it was the best standard at the time. It was a year-long program. It was really well balanced. It was really well thought out and well done. If someone took the syllabus, I should get that syllabus working. So someone could take the syllabus and use it. With full credit, of course, but it was a good one, especially for back in 1999. It was just unheard of. So the idea was you take the best existing evaluation, you put it with the best existing training standards, you throw them together, you're going to have the best Jedi site there is. Wonderful idea. They rushed into it. When I took over Jedi United, all the counselors at Jedi United wanted it done as soon as possible because they felt like somehow not having the site kind of like diminished what they were doing or something. I'm not sure. But then there was a problem of kind of politics started, because there's only so many council seats, right? Like I think here they say 12, right? So they only wanted so many counselors. Well, you had a full council at Jedi Temple. You had a full council at Jedi United. Well, who gets the short straw? You can't hold elections like these. Wait, is that the right one? I got to. Yeah. You can't hold elections like these because members from the other sites don't really know the current counselors of the other sites. So, they're not going to really vote for that person. And so you kind of have this you can't do this popularity contest type vote because it just doesn't work. No one knows really what you are, what your standards are, and especially back then, boasting about what you've done and stuff, it was considered kind of bad form as a Jedi. So putting out like a Jedi resume and why you should be a counselor was considered egotistical and politicking, and you shouldn't do it. And then what happened with Temple of the Jedi is a few of their counselors, including, I think it's back here. Where did I see it? So including, well, it doesn't matter. Stefan were role players. That's all they really cared about, was like the exploring the ideas through fiction and kind of having the community that they had and kind of having that sense of membership and camaraderie, and they didn't really care for training and standards and all this other stuff and kind of like progressing the Jedi as a community or an order or whatever. Like they didn't really care about that. And so then you had a split between members at Jedi United who didn't grow in their Jedi career, if you will, surrounded by people like Stefan and things like that, who saw him give like good advice and saw him, be as much as a Jedi as anybody, you could say, online, right? But they didn't have that, so all they saw were role players, and in their experience, role players equaled lack of standards and didn't take the Jedi seriously, and were not meant to be like put into counselor positions at all. So the members didn't really know how to take that. So you had this clash of members all of a sudden. You had this. You needed to tweak the evaluation to the standards, and the counselors from both sides couldn't really agree on how to do that, and communication broke down. And basically what happened is Temple of the Jedi Order. Now, I've had people blame me for its failure, but really, like, I was so far out of it. I was technically on the council with Jedi Temple at the time, and I was against the merger. I felt there was a better way to go about it, but one voice against people who had already been see, there was a council before, right? And then there was an election, and then that council, I should say, there was a council before. That council agreed to the merger. Then there was an election. New members were elected, but not a lot. Like, most of the ones that agreed to the merger were still there, but I got elected in the middle of this. And so yeah, I was against it. I was already retaking control of Jedi United version 2 to try to put that back on track. And by 2005, I believe it was, because all this happened around 2004. If I'm remembering the dates correctly, I'll probably have to re-look that up, make sure I didn't mess that up. But 2005, all these sites were done. Jedi United version 2 went under because members had tried to go over to Jedi Temple because the original, or Temple of the Jedi Order, because the original council told them to do that. members from the Temple of the Jedi went to the easy board of Temple of the Jedi Order. And when leadership couldn't go, and then there it was arguments on the boards, all over the boards, like, you know, and people by that point were tired. They were done of Jedi politics, and you got to remember, like, by this time, plenty of sites have died out to Jedi politics and bickering and leadership not being able to communicate with one another. So people just left, and not only that, people left completely. Most of the Jedi involved here. Chris Tingen came back here to Temple of the Jedi and went back to the discussion boards, and kind of just, you know, oversaw them for a bit. John Olerin was done, but he was in and out long before that. He was already kind of outros. Anar was done. He was done. He just left the community. He was done. Stefan was done. He went to his own little role-playing site, and eventually that just there was no one else left, so that just closed. Morgan, love that dude. He left the community. Destiny basically left the community at that time. Like, everybody just was kind of done. All the council members, Jedi Joshua from Jedi United left. Demetrius Vorak left. Brandel Valico kind of was like, cool, I'm taking a step back. And yeah, and people just kind of went their own way and started working on their own projects, or, you know, just living life. And so Temple of the Jedi Order never really got off the ground. No real council was made between the two orders. The standards and evaluations were never completed or made compatible, and basically everything kind of just dried up and died. And that is how the Temple of the Jedi, or Jedi Temple, if you will, died from Jedi Unity. It's a really horrible explanation. I'll get you a link. There is a whole written account of it that we have at Jedi Living on the forums, and it's much better than me. I apologize. Like I said, hurting unit, man. I'm just dealing with all this, and it's kind of throwing me off my game. But there you go. So, and we will be done sharing. We have a question. Let me answer this question, then I'll check our viewers to see if they have questions. Selecting this question: do you think Unity is something Jedi should be striving for? Is that a useful goal in our community, or does it detract from our mission of helping others? My goal, my thing is this. My thing on Jedi Unity is unity through community. What I would really love to see, and it's something I've been working on for a long time, but whatever. But what I would like to see is simply like a logo. Not a Jedi logo, not a copyrighted logo, nothing, not even, I mean, something kind of like, whatever. Point being, a logo, right? That's just on every Jedi site. And that little logo just means we agree to a certain set of standards and training material. Now, this doesn't mean you have to take the exact same training academy and put it, how did Katie say? It's like the stamp on beef in the U.S., right? Like USDA, like grade. Like when you get that stamp, it's that stamp of approval. Or, oh, you know what? Like free trade, right? Like free trade products or things like that. How they have a little stamp on the products that just say this company adheres to these ideals and guidelines and works within these practices. Like, if you do that, and you just saw, because then you would see like Facebook groups and things like that just pop up, just because someone wanted to create their own site, you know. Then you'd be like, wait, where's that little stamp? Where's that stamp? So okay, so the Jedi, so this isn't really Jedi approved. All right, so let me go back to Temple of the Jedi. I mean, like the real Temple of the Jedi, like the one that's still working. Let me go back there. Let me go back to California Jedi, or let me go back to, you know, or Jedi Living, right? Like yeah, you would have that, like that. I think that's the unity that we need to be striving for. All this stuff of trying to like bring everybody together under one roof, and we're gonna make an organization, and we're gonna do all this stuff, and we're gonna make this council, and we're gonna have people adhere to our rules and adhere to our structure, and if they don't, we'll find they can just get left behind. Like, that's so derisive, and that's so unnecessary, and you're just creating division. You know, like Jedi Unity is just so caught up in ego. You know, people want their group. That's why Jedi Unity doesn't work, is because people want their group to be that. So when you approach a group and you're like, hey, let's, like Jedi Unity, you're like, well, okay, who's going to run that? Because we already have a system that works for us, and we already have people in charge, and we already have an academy in place, and we already have a website, and we have all our members. How are you going to put those together without disrupting the power, right? And all websites have a power structure. Administration, moderation, these things are necessary to kind of, keep the conversation flowing and to make sure conversations, and trolls and spam and stuff like that are moderated properly. There's a hierarchy in kind of any Jedi site. So when people do that, ego automatically happens. It's not a bad thing, but it's something that people seem not to account for because they think, oh no, my idea is better, and what we're doing is better than what you're doing, and you'll just see that our standards are better, so you will follow along or we'll leave you behind. And that's, come on. So I think Jedi should be focusing on just creating a strong core, and then kind of being like, hey, we all agree with this core, right? Yes, we do. All right, unity through community. I recognize you, you recognize me, and that I think that would do it, because yes, it does take away from our mission. It takes away. Look at Unity projects. You look how much time a Jedi devote into them, and doing silly stuff like writing out bylaws and you have to double check things because people always try to skirt around rules, right? So you have to build them like airtight, and that's hours of writing, that's hours of editing, that's hours of rewording things because someone sees a loophole, and it's organizational stuff. And all that time that you were spending doing that, what could you have been doing as a Jedi? That's what I would present. My question to all things. Like when people ask me, hey, can you levitate things with your mind? I'm like, no, I haven't dedicated much of my time to that training. When I was younger, I did, but then the question came. All those hours that I'm putting into trying to levitate something with my mind, what else could I be doing? And which one is more befitting of a Jedi? That's the question. And I think when each Jedi looks within, they know the answer to that. I get why people want unity and stuff like that, but you got great communities. Pick a community, make it your home, and love it. And go to another one. Go out there, go to gatherings and stuff like that. You can still connect with the whole community and not be singled out. So that's I think that answers your question. I hope it is. I kind of got off on a tangent there, but okay. So let's see. Obi-Wan, going to use that earliest. Oh, Obi-Wan Cloud. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to ask. Does anybody in that's here? Because no one. I know my viewers, all like 2 of you. Can't see, but we do have a couple people in the chat. If you have any questions on the Jedi Temple or any of that, or Unity, right? You can post them in the chat. That's what I'm trying to get to. Man, I do not do good when I am under the weather. I'm telling you. So, yeah, if you guys, I think we have Jedi L. Christopher Bird from California Jedi here, and Jedi Elwin Gray as well here with us. If you guys have anything, you could put it in the group chat. If you have any questions, you could put yes. and then type it out, or you could put no, and then I can let my viewers go, and I can let Christopher get to the California Jedi Hangout meeting, and no questions from Jedi Christopher Bird. Okay, that's one. Jedi Gray, I know you were. Wait, just a moment. I do have a question. Okay, good. I was gonna say I thought you had some technical difficulties there, so yeah, but no, you got it. All right, we have a question coming up. In the meantime, you don't have to look at my ugly mug. But we will be wrapping it up soon. If you guys are done, like if we have some viewers out there and you're like, you've answered my stuff, feel free to get about your business. Get about your business. Okay, there we go. I'm getting phone calls interrupted. And what am I trying to do while we wait for the question? Oh, that's right. This is what I'm trying to do. Boop, boop. So yes, Christopher made a comment about. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Was it on the council page? OP1 McLeod was my name. When I first started out. Actually, like when I first started out, it was actually here. Can you see it? It was actually, and I can't point it out, but down in the bottom, if you look to the mail too, like kind of, OP Pens was the very first name. But when I joined the Jedi community, I had a friend who called me Obi-Wan. Yes, very much a play off of Obi-Wan, and that really stuck after 1999. It was he had used it a few times before the re-release to the trilogy. But yeah, so it was there. It did that stuff. Okay, question time. How do you think we promote the idea of cohesion without focusing on forcing conformity? It seems to be something even our inspiration struggles with. Yeah. Well, so there's. I think we have a better understanding of it than what the fiction, because the fiction has to be very black and white, right? And of course, we have to deal with a much more realistic view of kind of the universe, and we don't have the Force, and we don't have a divisional Force. I think that's one of the bigger things too. Like in Star Wars, the Force very much has sides. Like that's how it is. Ashla, for those of you who are into it, and if you're a fan of that, that's no longer Legends. Ashla has been brought back into the canon. So all you Ashla Knights out there, which is a website, you can look it up. All you Ashla Knights out there, congratulations, you're back in the canon. Welcome back, buddy. So how do you promote the idea of cohesion without focusing on and forcing conformity? You recognize the core, okay? You recognize the box that all Jedi must work within, and then you just allow that to play out, okay? You allow that to be taught, you allow that to be enforced, and you allow that to be lived in the wide expanse that is that box or core. If you look at things. If you really just, when you buckle down to the core of it and you look at all the things, I don't think there's any one thing that becomes so rigid that no one could do it. I think the problem is that sites are the ones with rigidity and are the ones that are unable, that require you to conform. Temple of the Jedi Order makes no beef of it. If you don't like our stuff, kick rocks. Cool deal. We're not going to be hurt by it. I am Jedi living is not much different. I like to see well, they do too. I'm not trying to say that they don't, but but I can't really speak for them, right? So I like to explore that though, like why don't you agree with that? We recently had someone at Jedi Living who was like, I want to change the 5 tenets, and that's peace, knowledge, serenity, harmony, and the Force. And I'm like, that's as core as you can get. You are not going to find a website that's going to allow you to change those 5 tenets. Those are Jedi tenets. Those will always be Jedi tenets. Yeah. So you have to conform to that, right? But how deep are those? Like those are multifaceted subjects in and of themselves. Peace, I mean, before you even get into practicing it and what it means, are we talking inner peace? Are we talking cessation of conflict? What kind of peace are we talking? Like knowledge, are we talking self-knowledge? Are we talking general knowledge? Are we talking ethical knowledge? Like what kind of knowledge? Serenity, harmony, how does harmony play out? What are we talking about with that? Like there's so many ways to perceive these things, and I think what needs to happen for us to promote the idea of unity and being okay, like unity through community, being okay with how the community is set up, is through accepting that diversity within the core. We don't. So many people try to shrug off the core because they're worried about being forced to conform to a forced ideal, when we need to be like, no, this is the core, but that's not going to really force you into a tight box. It's not really going to force you into things, unless you really don't agree with those things. Like if you don't agree with the 5 tenets, then yeah, I mean, Jedi path probably not for you. So I mean, and again, no hurt feelings, right? Like that's okay. But I think what you do is you just focus on that. What do we all agree on? We all agree on the 5 tenets, and that, and in some form or another, is in the Jedi Code. So we can kind of throw that in there. We can throw in, you can throw in even Jedi created things. Like you can be like, I will accept the 2014 version of the Jedi Circle, which removes the misconceptions and replaces them with the 5 goals. If you do that, we will say that is a good foundation. And again, this isn't saying, oh, we'll teach it or we'll force people to do it a certain way. It's just acknowledging it as a valid way to be a Jedi, as a valid way to begin the Jedi journey. And when you see these topics as kind of having this very open way of being lived, then you get past the idea of forcing people to kind of your way or the highway kind of thing. But yeah, you kind of have to you have to respect the core, and then you have to grow. Like if you want to take and I think Temple of the Jedi Order did it. I don't know, but you can look at things like the 33 teachings of the Jedi, right? And people are probably aware of that because like alt.religion and like how to kind of use that text as to explain Jediism and stuff. I believe it was Temple of the Jedi Order that like chopped them down to 16, like cherry picked 16 of those, and we're like, okay, these we can agree with. But that is to say, so did Jedi Sanctuary, the place that created it. They also had 16 and an 18 version. They had a 16 version, an 18 version, and a 12 version at one time. So they cherry picked their own stuff too. But then you could look at stuff like that. You can look at the 1999 version of the code, or the Qui-Gon Jinn code, or quote unquote Skywalker code, and use that as a basis, right? Like it's just about getting to that core and then being like, okay, do you agree with that? And not saying how or what or how do you do it. Just do you agree with this? Yes, as a Jedi, I agree with this. Okay, cool. Boom. Moving on. That's all you have to do. And then just let Jedi be Jedi. And like, trust that the Temple of the Jedi Order is going to manage their business as Jedi and do it properly. Trust that Jedi Living is going to do that. Trust that California Jedi is going to do that. Set up the core, set up the acknowledgement, set up the basics that flow through the entire community. And when you see that, give the thumbs up. Be like, hey, good job. rock it out, Jedi. You know, continue to be a Jedi, continue to do what you do, and go do something in this world. Because every Jedi you meet, if you look at the community, there's thousands of them, right? So every Jedi you meet online is another person somewhere in the world who's doing the same thing as you. They're training to better the world around them by bettering themselves, right? So they better themselves, and then they spread that outward. The better that they get, the more they can do, and the more positive and beneficial impact they can have on the world around them. It's a process. You have to be patient with yourself. Luckily, patience is a part of that Jedi core. But yeah, and so if we do that, then you can look at the community, and instead of like in 1999 and 2004 and things like that, when people were just getting frustrated and done, you look around the community and you're like, there's a person in Germany right now living as a Jedi, making a Jedi impact in their community. There's a person in London right now, in Scotland right now. There's a person in Mexico right now. There's people in Canada and the United States and Brazil. There's like 2 really big groups in Brazil. There's the Czech Republic has a good showing of Jedi out there, and you're just like, wow, we are a worldwide community impacting the world for positive and beneficial ways. That's amazing. So if we can just stop with the basically the ego of, look at what I built, and you all must come to me, and you all must conform to what we've built and all to the regulations and rules that I've put together. If you can stop with that and just be like, hey, awesome, Jedi, you're out there and you're doing it, more power to you. I think we'd all be happier. I think the community would be a much happier place. I think we'd be dancing more. I think we'd be like throwing Kool-Aid at each other more. I just think it would be better if we just kind of acknowledged the core and gave our thumbs up and realized that we're all out there trying to do the best we can and make a positive impact in the world. We're not that many. It's just like the fiction, right? There's not that many of us. We're not an army. We can't right every wrong in the world. We can't fight wars, and we can't do all that. We have to work where we are and where we can. It's also, as a side tangent, why I'm against like building Jedi temples in the middle of some forest somewhere and everybody congregating there. I like us being worldwide. This is just me, of course, but I like us being worldwide, and all of us, I think that's how we have the best impact. We're all out doing our missions, you know? We're all out there doing it. And the yearly gatherings or the regional gatherings, like the California gathering that's coming up, these are all great ways to kind of stop and reconnect with your fellow Jedi. It's kind of like going back to the Jedi Temple. It's going back to the Jedi Temple, reconnecting with your Jedi for like a weekend or two, and then you're right back out there on your mission. You know, that's how I viewed it. It's refreshing. It's nice. It's lovely. So yeah. And as Jedi Christopher Bird here says, be your own master, live in your own temple. And I think it's really that simple. And as long as we each recognize the core instead of trying to change it, right? Because we're afraid of conformity. If we just kind of accept the core and realize, okay, I agree with the core, but I'm going to do it a bit differently than you, Opie. Okay, as long as you stick to the core, we're not going to have problems, right? It's when you change tenets that we're going to start having problems. You can add tenets, of course, right? Like every Jedi kind of has their own code, but that's all another tangent, and I've taken up more than enough time. We're in an hour, and Christopher's got to get to the California Jedi thing. So, Jedi Gray. Any other questions? Be careful. And of course, I am available at, wait, here we go. Boop. JediLiving.com. You can always bug me there, throw questions. But yeah, any more questions before we close this out, get this going, and stop taking up the time of the people who are going to watch this later? Emily? All right, we got it good. I think we're good. Trust me on this, Gray. All right, let me see. got to double check the Q&As. Q&A is clear. All right, so go ahead and no more questions. Thank you for your time. That was helpful. Cool. Glad I could be of help, Jedi Gray. Yeah, so go ahead, explore the Jedi Temple. It's a fun site. I loved it. I'll try to get that syllabus working for you. You check it out. It's pretty good. I can't promise the links in the syllabus will work, at least not anytime soon. So, and as I said, the discussion board is still open on Youku. A lot of history there. So you can definitely check it out, dive into it, even pop up some discussions. I'll keep an eye on it. Well, I tend to keep an eye on it anyways, but usually it's like every 6 months or so. But yeah, keep an eye on it and see if anybody pops in. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the questions that came in. Thanks to California Jedi's Cayenne Tatak and Christopher Bird, as well as Elwin Gray, Jedi Elwin Gray, probably Jedi right there. Don't forget that. And everybody else for watching. Take care. And if you have questions, comments, throw them in. Throw them in the comments below. And if you'd like to see a website from like 1999 or like 2002-ish, like anywhere in that area that we haven't covered yet, and you remember it, and you're like, hey man, can we explore that site? Send me a message, comment below, whatever. Reach me on Jedi Living, and if I have it available, we can go exploring. All right, everybody, we're done.